The big challenge that most experts have is they give away way too much information, and they're so generous with their time that people feel like they can almost do it themselves. Because we're so generous as experts, we think that the best thing we can do is give people so much information that they have no choice but to work with you or us. Hey there, expert. Rana Saini here. See, the wealthiest business coaches and consultants see business success as the system. This podcast, The Expert Advantage, contains real-world, in-the-trenches business advice that our clients use to gain a strategic advantage in growing their million-dollar expert business. It's my hope that you use these short lessons and insights to gain your strategic advantage in growing your expert business, and maybe one day soon partner with us at The Expert Project to take your expert coaching and consulting business to $1 million and beyond. I hope you share and enjoy. Today, I'm giving you a little tactic that's really helping experts unpack their experience and their expertise and use it to educate and inspire their marketplace into becoming clients. And this is something we've used for many years inside of our expert program, and we use it ourselves to give us a bit of an unfair advantage. They say you can either outspend your competition or you can out-educate your competition. And in a market where often we can't, as experts, compete with the big players in terms of ad budget, we can certainly be more proactive with how we teach. Now, one of the things I'd like to give you is access to our presentation builder. If you need the worksheets, just comment below the word worksheet, and you'll get a link to download the worksheets so you can follow along and get these templates and use them in your business. Now, the biggest thing that we see inside of the marketplace is that most people are relying on ads and tactics to grow their influence. One of the things that we want to go through and we want to help people do is, in our marketplace, we want to make sure that we give you something that's going to be a little bit more practical. Let me dive in and share. So when it comes to webinars, when it comes to presentation, what we realize is there are kind of three phases, right? There is the promotion, the delivery, and the opportunity. And inside of our world, we believe that once a month, every month, you want to solve or speak to one problem that your marketplace has. One problem that your marketplace has. So you think about what you do in terms of your service delivery, and you want to be able to say, well, this month, what's a problem that I can focus on solving so they can have a solution to one of the problems that I solve, either in the service that I run, the product that I sell. There's something that's going to help compel people to say, oh, that's a problem I have. I'd be really interested in this, much like what we're doing today. And you want to give help and then invite people to spend more time with you in terms of working and an engagement that could maybe be a really good collaboration. So the goal for us is you want to use promotion first. So when you promote, we want to invite people to join you for a session on a topic. Now, in delivery, you want to make delivery very, what we call, you want to teach. So you want to educate, inspire, and inform. But the big challenge that most experts have is they give away way too much information, and they're so generous with their time that people feel like they can almost do it themselves. Because we're so generous as experts, we think that the best thing we can do is give people so much information that they have no choice but to work with you or us. But the game is to help people with, it's not the amount of information you give, it's the right information. And so there's this goal between, we want to move them from information and we want to take them to implementation. Now, information is what? Implementation is how. inside of delivering your expertise, you have to become a master at giving away information that is helpful and practical, but not something that people can just, well, the reality is most people can't do it on their own anyway, which is why people need help and consultants and coaches just like you. But you want to speak to the strategy of what's possible rather than the tactics of how it's done. Because quite frankly, there is no outcome you could deliver in a 10 to 15 minute presentation that would change someone's business. You just want to help them understand what might be possible for them. So during our delivery, we run off a model, and our model helps take people on a journey of what's possible in terms of a topic. Then once we invite them in and we are delivering our service, we then want to give people what we call a call to action. And a call to action is for those of you who are interested in working a little bit deeper and finding out a little bit more about how we could help your business, go here. Where are you directing people to? And the opportunity for us is to always get people into what we call it's a call, but we call it a freemium offer. And a freemium offer is an offer that's almost free, but it's where they see a little bit more value. So they can spend a little bit more time with you to understand and unpack their problems. You can help them understand what's possible. And then you want to lay out a process that has people say, yes, let's do business together and become a client. So how can we do that in a presentation? Well, a couple of things before we dive in. Make sure if you need to, you have access to this workbook because we're going to give you some slides, as you can see here, that might be useful for you in your business. So make sure you comment worksheets or workbook below, and we will make sure that we give you a link to download your own worksheet so you can run this process. So let's talk now about the delivery piece. How do you give someone the right amount of information so they see a lot of value in what you do, but not enough information that they feel like they can just do it on their own? But they go, I see a lot of value. In fact, I see so much value that I want to continue the conversation with you, with this person. By the way, those of you who haven't already, we run a challenge every month. If you haven't already, make sure that you click the link that's in your workbook and have a think about joining us for that. We will literally install step by step everything you need to generate your first connections, conversations, and clients. Most people who join the challenge generate their first leads and quality leads, doing things they've never thought about before. I'd love to share that with you. What I'm going to be teaching you today is walking you through our slideshow. And these slides have literally helped us generate dozens of new clients every month and literally hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of new business purely by turning how we put our expertise and experience into a formula and present it to our audience. Now, one of the things that we've done in the past is this is the slides from this presentation where we take people through a process to help them understand the following: how to productize their expert experience, how to generate lead flow through LinkedIn, and how to book qualified calls. Now, we do that, but this is the slides that have kind of led us to this place of being able to run events and webinars, what we call Q&A webinars, every week that enables us to present a topic, talk about a problem, help people understand the possibility, and then invite people to understanding how do they want to learn more, and then opening up the floor to questions. Sometimes in the past we've had 5 people, sometimes we've had 500 people, depending on the lead time, depending on the topic. It's really interesting. So here's how we do it. These are what the slides look like. And as you can see, there's literally 1, 2, 3, 4 slides times 5, 4, 12, 13, 14, 15 slides. Literally 15 slides, and they all have a very specific purpose. So who here couldn't get 15 slides together to present on one problem to help people understand what might be possible if they overcome it, and then speak to that in terms of a quick and simple process that you could help people run through, and then have some Q&A at the end, and based on the Q&A, take people into a conversation where you can see what's possible if you were to collaborate together in terms of doing business together. So what we've done is we realized that these 15 slides are broken down into kind of these topics. So the first thing is a title. And if you want to think about a title, very simply, it's how to X to get Y. And you can see some examples at the top here. How to build big offers to get big results. In your case, it might be how to use LinkedIn to generate 5 to 10 leads. How to create high-performance teams to get or to land $1 million product projects. Or, you take your how and you just get why. People just want to know, quite simply, if I learn this thing, what will the outcome be? The thing that I look at doing then is we want to welcome people to the event. And by welcoming people, we want to just share a little bit about you and what you do. So what we call seed the program or seed the offer. So the way I would do that, and I've done it already in this presentation where I've mentioned our challenge, but it's basically, hi, welcome, this is what we do. By the way, if you haven't already, make sure you join us for this. So you want to seed it. Then you want to get a big question. When you start a presentation, most people start talking and they don't ask questions. Now I'm in this presentation with you guys in the room. So if you haven't already, and you are watching this on replay, just hashtag replay below so we can make sure we can answer any questions that you have in the group. But the question might be something like, what do you need most right now? Or in relation to lead flow, what's your biggest challenge with leads right now? Or if it's a topic on sales or a topic on retention or delivery or HR or recruitment, what is it? And you ask a question to start getting engagement. We have a saying inside of our presentations, if the chat box in Zoom hasn't lit up in the first 5 minutes of your presentation, you are going to have to work harder than you need to and harder than you should. Get people familiar and happy and excited and aware of how to use the chat box. Hey there, expert. So listen, our mission here at the Expert Project is to positively impact the world of other business coaches and consultants just like you. We want to help them make more impact, have more income, and have a positive influence on the world. And see, the only way we can do that is if you've heard something in today's episode that moved you, created an insight, changed your perspective, or gave you an aha moment. All I'd ask you to do is take 10 seconds, rate and review this podcast so together we can help spread the word about this podcast and have a positive influence in someone else's world. The agenda is really important. The agenda is where you talk about the 3 things that you're going to talk about in relation to the product or the service or the problem that you're going to help them overcome. We also have a thing called the unhidden agenda. Now, the unhidden agenda is at the start of any presentation. Don't just wait until the end to tell people, oh, by the way, I've got this thing I want to talk to you about, sell to you, or do. Create a call to action, put it at the start of your presentation. It goes a little something like this. For those of you today who are interested in having a conversation to learn a bit more and go a bit deeper into your business and how we can help, I'm going to put a link in the chat. It's a link to our calendar. Make sure you click that, answer a couple of questions, and then book a time, and we can have a conversation. We can go have a bit of further conversation. So I just want to let you guys know I am looking for a couple of people who might be the right fit for our product or service. Throughout this presentation, click that link and book a call. So don't wait to the end to get bookings. Do it at the start, right? And check in with that, because as soon as you get the elephant out of the room, people are more comfortable. That's what they're going to sell. And every time they see value, that link will be in front of them. And you can put that link into the chat as many times as you need to throughout the presentation. So show proof. I always like to then start by showing a little bit of proof. Now, when I talk about proof, I talk about a model or a comment or something. It's either going to be a story, a case study, or a before and after that relates to your product or service, so people buy in emotionally to the thing that you're talking about. So straight away, dispel any doubt and say, well, so the reason I'm sharing this with you today is because this person was in this place. We helped them with this thing, and this person is now reaching this goal. And you might say, well, Ron, I don't have any case studies. I don't have any testimonials. Then you might explain what could be possible. So for example, here is if a company was doing X and struggling, but they wanted to get to Y and thriving, this is the model that we would use. So we teach in our program how experts should use a model to anchor insights and create a journey so people go, oh, they buy into the journey before they buy from the person. Right? People have to buy into you before they buy from you. And so therefore you want to create a model that visually takes people through the buying cycle and the value of what you do. Remember, people have to see to believe. Then we look at the 3 phases. 3 phases are really just code for 3 teach points. 3 teach points. Remember, a triangle has 3 sides, has 3 sides and 3 corners. You want to deal with one particular side of the triangle. If you have a model that has 3 parts, just speak to one part. So you introduce the model, you introduce why. So you introduce the model, why it's important, how it works to solve in relation to the topic of this conversation. And then it's very simple. You don't need to speak for hours. Like these Q&A webinars might go for 20 minutes, much like I'm doing now. And in this phase, you go through, explain what the phase is. Phase 1 is connect. Now, we might have a power statement or something that reinforces connect. Build your community. Or we might say people won't engage unless you're active. So we've got to keep connecting with people. And then what I do is I will show people how, like a bit of proof. I might go into LinkedIn and show people how it works. Or I might go behind the scenes or show people a part of my IP that we use in our program and walk them through it. Then you do that 3 times. Now, at the end of each of these, I'm going to put a star, is where you ask people, what's been the big insight for you? And you get people to engage at that point. Now, at the end of that, you want to also put another CTA in. And a CTA is just saying, and by the way, for those of you who want to learn a little bit more and go a bit deeper so we can have a bit more of a conversation, make sure you click this link, you put the link in to your calendar so you can answer just a couple of questions about your business and where you're at, and then we can make a time to have a chat a little bit deeper, a little bit further. Cool? Who here would like to have a chat? And you hold the space. Because remember, at the end of a conversation, you want to be generating something. If you're going to be engaging with your audience, you just want to let them know straight away that we're not going to be able to solve all the problems in one session, but I just want to help you understand what's possible inside of what we do. And then what you might do is, and by the way, you can see here, like we do 3 teachers, and then we might have a quote or something that just anchors the fact that there's a gap. And you might say in the gap, given this problem, which relates to you right now? Which point related to you most right now? So, which phase do you think you need most right now? What do you need most right now? And you get people to comment, and you go, great. So you take one element, and if possible, what you might do is then demo a part of your product or service, or take people through an exercise, or take people through some of your IP that you've got. Walk people through a process, right? Give people an example that they go, oh, that was it's like a example or a sample of what you do. So people go, oh, this is so powerful. I'm really excited by it. And so what I do is I'll give a live demo where I'll help people search LinkedIn and show what opportunity there is. And you might do something similar inside of your world. I then anchor it again with a case study, and a case study goes back to like, again, we've done a case study at the start, show proof, but this case study is specifically around a client. Like if you don't have this, that's okay, you can leave it out, but I just give a client case study, and then at the end, I ask the big questions. Now, let's go through and handle any questions that you have. Does anyone have any questions? And I'll just be quiet. Does anyone have any questions? And I'll just be quiet. And if they don't have questions, what I might do, if we don't get engagement at that point, I might go back to say, what do you need most right now? Or anytime someone's made a comment, and I might call them out. Joe, you mentioned your big insight was that. Can we talk about that for a second? And then I'll ask a question. So why was that an important insight for you? And I'd have him, and we just have a chat. What questions would you have about that? Why was that an issue for you? And so sometimes you've got to work a bit to get people to speak, because people can be quite shy. But the goal is, when you're presenting, you are the authority. When you're presenting, you are the person that people see as the expert in your space. And when you're presenting, you have to work to make sure you're enrolling the audience in what you're doing, why it's important, and what they need to do next. Now, remember, at the end of it, we are wanting to engage people. If I go back to here, every month you can promote a problem that you're looking at solving with a piece of IP or training that you've got. You deliver the training with the goal of getting people to book into a calendar. So you seed the calendar booking, or you seed the next step throughout that presentation, and then you deal with the opportunity that comes. And if you can do that every month and generate 10 to 15 leads a month that come to your webinar, and you can get 50% of those people into a booking, even every month, and this is like easy stuff, right? But that's 5 calls you didn't have before. And that's also people you can follow up with after the webinar and say, hey, just checking in, would you like to work together on your X strategy? Or think about this. If people don't show up, you can still email them and say, hey, notice we missed you at XYZ training. Is topic something you'd be interested in talking about? Do you want to jump on a call and talk about topic? And ask the question. Remember, leads require engagement, and every month, if you can run a Q&A webinar, you're literally bringing people in who are interested in that topic, and therefore they should be interested in doing business with you. Now, if you need it, again, last thing is make sure you comment worksheet or workbook below, either one, and our team will get you a copy of these worksheets so you can actually work through your own Q&A webinar and set it up. I hope this has been useful to you. What's been your big insight and takeaway? Comment in the comments below, and if you have any questions, we're here to help. Hopefully that's been helpful.